What if I told you there was a woman who promised to change money forever? Would you believe me? She wasn't just another businesswoman, but a glamorous Oxford graduate, fluent in multiple languages, cheered like a rock star on stages across the world, and she called herself the Cryptoqueen, claiming to have built the Bitcoin killer, a currency that could make anyone rich overnight. But here's the real question. What if I told you it was all a lie? Because Ruja Ignatova's OneCoin wasn't a cryptocurrency at all. It was one of the biggest Ponzi schemes in history. Billions stolen, lives shattered, and the so-called Cryptoqueen vanishing in 2017, leaving behind nothing but broken promises and a trail of ruin. This is the story of OneCoin and Ruja Ignatova, a chilling lesson in greed, trust, and the shadows of the crypto dream. Ruja Ignatova was not an ordinary scammer. Born in Bulgaria in 1980 and raised partly in Germany, she grew up far from the chaos of the Soviet collapse. She was brilliant, ambitious, and driven by a desire to climb social and financial ladders. Educated at the University of Oxford and with a PhD in law from Konstanz, she mastered the art of appearing legitimate. Ruja knew how to look the part: expensive dresses, diamond jewelry, and carefully crafted speeches. To her admirers, she embodied success, sophistication, and authority. When Bitcoin burst onto the scene in the early 2000s, it was mysterious and poorly understood by the wider public. Many people believed cryptocurrency was the future, but few understood how it actually worked. This was Ruja's perfect opportunity. In 2014, she introduced OneCoin, marketing it as a Bitcoin killer. She claimed it would be faster, easier, and safer than Bitcoin. Her pitch was seductive. Those who missed the Bitcoin wave could now join the next revolution. She launched dazzling events across Europe, Asia, and Africa. In London, she walked on stage under flashing lights. In Vienna, she addressed thousands. In Macau, she filled stadiums. Crowds erupted in applause as she declared that OneCoin was the future of money. But behind the curtain, there was a disturbing truth. OneCoin was never a real cryptocurrency. Bitcoin and other real cryptocurrencies operate on a blockchain, a transparent, decentralized ledger visible to anyone. Every transaction is recorded and cannot be altered. This is what gives crypto its legitimacy. But OneCoin had no blockchain. There was no open ledger, no decentralized system, no actual mining. Instead, the coin existed only in a private database controlled entirely by Ruja's company. In other words, OneCoin was pure fiction. The business model was built like a multi-level marketing scheme. Investors didn't buy coins directly. They bought educational packages, ranging from a few hundred to tens of thousands of dollars. These packages came with tokens that could supposedly be used to mine OneCoin. But the mining was fake. The company simply assigned numbers to people's accounts, creating the illusion of growing wealth. Members were encouraged to recruit new investors, often their friends and family. In return, they earned commissions and bonuses. The more people they brought in, the higher they climbed in the pyramid. By 2016, OneCoin had spread like wildfire across the globe. From rural villages in Africa to middle-class homes in Europe, from Southeast Asia to South America, millions bought in. Estimates suggest that more than $4 billion was poured into OneCoin. Some investigators believe the true figure may be closer to $15 billion, making it one of the largest scams in history. The scale of OneCoin's spread was staggering. In countries where financial opportunities were scarce, people saw it as their one chance to escape poverty. In Uganda, families sold land to buy OneCoin packages. In China, investors pooled life savings. In Pakistan, India, and Latin America, recruiters pitched OneCoin as a ticket to wealth and modernity. The brilliance of Ruja's scheme lay in psychology. She tapped into the fear of missing out, the same force that made early Bitcoin investors wealthy. People were told, "Don't miss the next big thing." Large recruitment events were choreographed like rock concerts. Music, lights, and speeches built an atmosphere of inevitability. Those on stage promised that OneCoin would soon be listed on global exchanges, making everyone rich. And there was always the presence of Ruja herself. With her designer gowns, crimson lipstick, and diamond jewelry, she cultivated the image of a powerful, unstoppable visionary. To her followers, she was not just a CEO, she was a financial messiah. But cracks were beginning to show. Regulators in several countries, including India, Germany, and Hungary, began issuing warnings. In 2016, authorities raided OneCoin offices in India and arrested recruiters. Financial experts publicly declared that OneCoin had no blockchain, no transparency, and no credibility. Yet, for millions already invested, it was easier to believe in the dream than face the reality of losing everything. By 2017, pressure was mounting. Banks were freezing OneCoin accounts, journalists were investigating, and law enforcement agencies were circling. And then, in October of that year, something remarkable happened. Ruja Ignatova boarded a Ryanair flight from Sofia, Bulgaria to Athens, Greece. After that, she disappeared. She has not been seen since. Her sudden vanishing stunned her followers. Some believed she had gone underground to protect herself from corrupt banks. Others insisted she would return with even greater plans. But investigators soon realized she had fled just as the scheme was unraveling. Her brother, Konstantin Ignatov, attempted to take control. But in 2019, he was arrested in the United States. Facing decades in prison, he cooperated with authorities, revealing how the fraud had been orchestrated. Meanwhile, U.S. prosecutors charged Ruja in absentia with wire fraud, securities fraud, and money laundering. She was placed on the FBI's most wanted list, with a $100,000 reward for information leading to her arrest. But Ruja remained a ghost. Rumors spread. Some said she was hiding in Dubai, protected by powerful allies. Others believed she had undergone plastic surgery to alter her appearance. A darker theory suggested she might have been killed by those who feared she knew too much. The truth remains unknown. Behind the headlines, OneCoin left devastation. Families lost life savings. Retirees lost pensions. In some communities, entire neighborhoods had invested, leaving collective ruin. Stories emerged of people in Africa and Asia who had sold homes or borrowed heavily, believing in the promise of easy wealth. For them, the scam was not just financial, it was personal. It destroyed trust, fractured relationships, and created lasting trauma. The tragedy of OneCoin lies not only in the billions lost, but also in the hope it manipulated. It preyed on the vulnerable, those with little financial literacy, and those desperate for a chance at a better life. Today, OneCoin is remembered as one of the largest financial frauds of the 21st century. It exposed the dangers of unregulated markets, the seductive power of charismatic leaders, and the vulnerability of ordinary people to promises of quick wealth. Ruja Ignatova's story also highlights a paradox of modern times. Cryptocurrency was born as a tool of transparency and decentralization, meant to free people from manipulation by powerful banks and governments. Yet, in the wrong hands, the same dream became a weapon of deception. The FBI continues to list Ignatova among its most wanted fugitives. Her face, once projected on giant screens at global conferences, now appears on posters warning of financial crime. But the questions remain. Where is Ruja Ignatova? Is she still alive? And if so, how long can she remain in the shadows? The story of OneCoin is not just about a missing woman or a vanished fortune. It is about the human desire for shortcuts to wealth and how trust can be weaponized. For every Ruja, there are millions of victims who paid the price. And as new financial technologies emerge, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, digital assets, the lessons of OneCoin remain more relevant than ever. The rise and fall of the so-called Cryptoqueen reminds us that behind every dazzling promise of instant riches lies a risk, often hidden in plain sight. Because ultimately, the most important question remains: is it too good to be true? If you found this story compelling and believe more people should learn about the hidden dangers of financial scams, don't forget to like this video, share it with others, and subscribe to the channel for more powerful stories that uncover the truth behind the headlines.